to cover him off. Kimi Raikkonen on the inside, and he's crashed with Verstappen. He's hit Vettel as well. Raikkonen is out before the first corner, and he's gone into the Red Bull there as well. It's the second time this season.
Brilliant start from Maldonado. He's already passed Raikkonen, who's passed Kobayashi, who was a bit sluggish. And there's Lewis Hamilton slewing into the wall. And oh dear, Roman Grosjean and Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton all coming to grief at the source.
Imagine this. The lights go out. 20 Formula One cars launch forward at over 300 kilometers per hour. And within seconds, everything explodes into Carnage cars flying. Debris everywhere. Championship dreams destroyed before the race even begins. Today, we're counting down 15 times the opening lap in F1 became absolute madness. And trust me, number one will blow your mind. Let's go. Japan. 2008. Let's kick things off in Japan. 2008. Fuji Speedway. The rain is coming down, visibility is terrible, and Lewis Hamilton sees a gap. He dives down the inside, too deep, way too deep. Raikkonen gets forced wide. Behind them, Kovalainen has nowhere to go. Contact sparks. Cars scattering like bowling pins through turns 1, 2, and 3. Positions changing every second. The field completely shuffled before anyone even settles into rhythm. It's aggressive, it's messy, and it sets the tone for what's coming. But this is just the warm-up. Australia 2002. Now let's jump forward a few years. Australia 2002. Melbourne. The season opener. The lights go out. The field charges toward turn 1. And then Ralf Schumacher's Williams hits Barrichello's Ferrari. But here's where it gets insane. Ralf doesn't just spin, he goes airborne. 200 kilometers per hour. Flying through the air like a missile. Crashes down into the runoff with a thunderous impact. Behind him, 8 cars tangled, 8 retirements, just like that. One of the wildest opening laps Melbourne has ever seen. The race hasn't even started properly, and half the grid is already gone. But we're just getting started. Hungary 2021, fast forward to Hungary 2021, the Hungaroring. It's wet, the track is slippery, everyone's on edge. The start goes cleanly for about 3 seconds. Then Valtteri Bottas completely misjudges his braking point into turn 1. Wham! He plows straight into Lando Norris. Norris has no time to react. He hits Verstappen. Bottas careens into Pérez. Behind them, Stroll plows into Leclerc and Ricciardo, wiping both out. 5 contenders gone before turn 2. Red Bull's damaged. McLaren's out. Ferrari done. The internet called it Bottas bowling. But here's the thing. We're only at number 13. And it gets so much worse. Germany 1994. Let's rewind to the mid-90s. Germany 1994. Hockenheim. Schumacher ruled the era, Senna was gone, and F1 was still in shock. The German GP began, and instantly, multiple cars collided. Ukyo Katayama gets collected in the chaos. Others spin off into the gravel. Debris everywhere. The safety car has to arrive before the field even reaches the stadium section. A complete mess at one of the fastest circuits on the calendar. And we're not even halfway through this list yet. France 1989. Back even further. France 1989. Paul Ricard. The circuit with the famous blue and red stripes. A technical track. Challenging corners. The race begins. And right from the start, aggression takes over. Maurício Gugelmin collides at the first chicane. Chain. Reaction. Cars spinning in every direction, smashing into each other, scattering across the runoff like broken toys. Several retirements, instantly, before the race has even truly begun. Paul Ricard in '89 was wild, absolutely wild. But Paul Ricard has nothing on what's coming next. Great Britain 2022 jumped to the modern era. Great Britain 2022, Silverstone, home of British motorsport. Over 140,000 fans packed into the grandstands. The atmosphere is electric, lights out. The field launches into the high-speed opening corner. George Russell and Pierre Gasly touch wheels. And then, Zhou Guanyu's car flips upside down. Time seems to slow. The Alfa Romeo slides. Hundreds of meters. Sparks flying everywhere. Scraping across the asphalt at terrifying speed. The car goes over the tire barrier into the catch fencing. The crowd goes silent as medical cars rush in. But the halo saved him. No doubt, Zhou walked away. Somehow. One of the most terrifying crashes in modern F1 history, a stark reminder of how dangerous this sport can be, even on lap 1. Canada 1998. Let's head to North America. Canada 1998. Montreal. The legendary Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Lap 1 begins, and immediately, chaos erupts. Alexander Wurz loses control after contact at turn 1. His car spins wildly across the track. Multi-car collision, his Benetton suspension breaks, pieces flying everywhere, and moments later, he's in another crash. Relentless drama from the very first corner. Montreal delivered chaos like only Montreal can. But Canada 98 was nothing compared to what happened decades later in Monaco. Monaco 2024. Monaco 2024, the jewel in F1's crown, the most prestigious race on the calendar. Narrow streets, Armco barriers inches away, zero room for mistakes. The race begins, cars crawling through the first corners, but as they climb toward Casino Square, disaster strikes. Kevin Magnussen and Sergio Pérez collide hard. Pérez's Red Bull hits the barriers. The impact is massive. The car literally disintegrates, carbon fiber exploding in every direction. Debris litters half the track, bodywork everywhere. Behind them, Sainz, Ocon, and Gasly are swept into the chaos. Red flag. The race stops before it even begins. Marshals scrambling, cranes deployed. A modern Monaco meltdown that reminded everyone why this track is so treacherous. And we're about to go even deeper into the madness. Brazil 2009. Now to South America. Brazil 2009. Interlagos. Rain. Lots of it. The track is drenched. The start is chaotic from the jump. Heikki Kovalainen tangles with Sebastian Vettel. Contact. Kovalainen spins. Chain reaction begins across multiple cars. But here's where it gets bizarre. Seconds later in the pit lane, Kovalainen accidentally drives off with the fuel hose still attached to his car. Fuel spraying everywhere. A jet of gasoline shooting across the pit lane. Right across Kimi Räikkönen's Ferrari, everyone freezes. One spark, and this becomes a disaster. Miraculously, no fire, no explosion, pure luck. But things are about to get even crazier. Trust me. Germany 2001, back to Germany. 2001, Hockenheim again. The race begins. And within seconds, absolute mayhem. Luciano Burti clips Michael Schumacher. Burti goes onto the grass, loses complete control. The car's a missile now. He slams into the back of Ralf Schumacher's car and launches into the air. A flying Prost car, completely airborne. Cars scattering in every direction to avoid the chaos. Terrifying. The entire field instantly reshuffled. Now welcome to the top 5, where opening lap chaos reaches legendary status. Great Britain 1973. Let's go way back. Great Britain 1973, Silverstone. An era before modern safety. No Hans devices, no survival cells, no runoff areas, just grass, gravel, and barriers. Woodcote Corner, one of the fastest corners in motorsport at the time. Cars hitting 260 kilometers per hour. Jody Scheckter spins. At full speed, 9 cars pile up behind him. Smoke, dust, metal tearing. Wheels rolling across the track like loose cannonballs. Absolute carnage. Remarkably, no major injuries. How? Nobody knows. Pure luck. And we're entering the top 4 now, where things get absolutely insane. Singapore 2017. Singapore 2017. Marina Bay Street Circuit. Night race. This was the year Vettel and Ferrari were fighting for the championship. Every point mattered. The most dramatic Singapore start ever was about to unfold. Lights out. Kimi Räikkönen launches perfectly off the line, moves slightly toward his teammate Vettel, but at the exact same moment, Max Verstappen squeezes between them. 3 cars, 1 space. Physics says no. They collide, violently, metal grinding, sparks exploding. Fernando Alonso gets collected in the chaos. No escape. Räikkönen's car skates across the wet track. Out of control. Vettel spins hard into the wall moments later. A double DNF for Ferrari. Both cars gone on lap 1. Championship hopes wiped out in seconds. Vettel's title shot disappearing in a cloud of carbon fiber. But believe it or not, there are still 3 more chaotic starts ahead. And they're even wilder. Belgium 2011. Belgium 2011. Spa-Francorchamps. Eau Rouge. Blanchiment, pure speed. But before you get to Eau Rouge, you have to survive La Source hairpin. The entire field bunched together, nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. Bruno Senna brakes too late. Way too late. He's committed. No turning back. He slams into Jaime Alguersuari. The impact is brutal, forces half the field wide. Cars scrambling, avoiding debris, trying not to get collected. Debris flying everywhere. Kamikaze energy from turn 1. Multiple drivers have floor and wing damage before even reaching Eau Rouge. Their race is compromised before the real challenge begins. But this was just the beginning of Belgium's dark legacy. Belgium 1998. Belgium 1998. Spa. Heavy rain. Coulthard loses the car on the straight, bounces off the wall, and then pile up. 13 cars. The track is completely blocked. Cars smashed everywhere. F1's biggest multi-car crash since the 1950s. No choice but a full restart. One of the most infamous opening laps in F1 history. But somehow, there's one that's even more chaotic. Italy 2011, Italy 2011, Monza, the Temple of Speed. This is where legends are made. 350 kilometers per hour down the straights. Minimal downforce. Cars on a knife edge. The lights go out. The field launches forward. 20 rockets accelerating into the first chicane. And instantly, everything goes wrong. Vittorio Liuzzi loses control under braking. His HRT can't handle it. The car spears sideways, completely sideways, across the grass at insane speed. It slides into Nico Rosberg, then into Vitaly Petrov. Turn 1 chaos, the entire field scatters. Carbon fiber exploding everywhere. 3 cars eliminated before the first chicane is even cleared. A rocket start. That went completely wrong. The fastest track on the calendar, the highest speeds, and the most violent opening lap collision you could imagine. From Monza's explosive chaos to Belgium's rain-soaked disasters. From Zhou's terrifying flip to Ferrari's Singapore nightmare. These moments remind us what happens when Formula One goes wrong in the blink of an eye.